Landscaper right there.
His 14-year-old son totally told him this.
Blank, my 14-year-old son, told me this tonight.
I did not believe it until I translated it myself on Google Translate. What do you think?
Yeah, I guess if you break up the word and forget the other N at the end of Nickelodeon, I don't care about God.
That's what SpongeBob says. If you play the episodes in reverse, he says that in every episode.
Dumb. Nickelodeon came about because when people went to the movies back in the day, it cost a nickel. Hence the word Nickelodeon was born. Is that why? That's straight up what it means. That's pretty cool. I didn't even know that. I love it when we get things that actually happened on That Happened. Like we got real facts now. Sure, they said that.
One time, one of my best gay guy friends called me and exclaimed very excitedly, "I have syphilis! It's the only one I haven't had yet!"
like you're filling a Pokédex? I congratulated him for filling up his bingo card. You get 5 STDs, you get a free falafel. What is it? When you get those coupon cards, you get 5, you get 1 free. He did that, but with venereal diseases. Yeah, 100%. Went to the store looking like this and still got hit on by the guy paying in front of me. He paid, turned around and goes, "Oh, wow, you're so beautiful. Can I have your number?" The cashier and I both burst out laughing. In the middle of laughing, the cashier says, "Dude, I've heard her say it at least 1,000,000 times. She's engaged." I'm just like, well, I guess the world is wrong when they say it's how women dress that we ask for the attention. Yeah, okay, I guess I'm asking. Dressed like this, baggy t-shirt and all. Man, I don't even have words. It's great that you were feeling yourself in your baggy fit, but you didn't have to make up a lie like that. And I would have believed this up until the cashier in the OP had like a sitcom laughing moment. That was that was where they lost me.
If you're gonna make up racist stuff, at least make it believable. That's for their parents and outside agencies to deal with. I saw a Christian kid surrounded by Muslim kids and made to convert to Islam this week. That's how Islam works. A bunch of Muslim kids surround Christian kids at the playground. They go, "You're now one of us." Put 2 thumbs on his temples and bam! Happened just like that.
That never happened, did it? What? And you just stood there and watched this poor kid? Cowardice. Nah, this guy's spitting facts. You just watch this boy get converted. So dumb. It's so dumb. And the worst part is like there are people out there who go, "Oh, that's terrible." This had 39 likes. This had 39 likes. That means at least some people thought that was real. Maybe not all 39, but at least 1 or 2. People actually believe this kind of post. I want the MacBook back. I'm sorry? To borrow? No, I want it back to keep. I see you posting stuff in the group chat about how much you like it and you're doing things I didn't know it could do. I understand. I'm sorry you regret selling it. If you give me back the $500, you can have it back. But it's my MacBook. I don't want to pay for it. I want it back. I paid more than that when I first got it. I understand that, but I paid you $500 for it and you want it back, so I want my money back. Please just give me back the MacBook. I want all the editing stuff you put on it. Is this a joke? Are you f***ing with me? Final Cut is $300. I'm not giving you $800 in product back for free because you regret selling it. I should call the police for theft. This isn't fair. And scene. All right, thank you. We're gonna stop texting myself and post. Everyone is disagreeing, OP, but this doesn't even read like it was written by humans. AI generated. Limp limo. I'm at an outdoor mall with my boyfriend. I hurt my knee and I'm limping across the road behind him when a limo with several teenage couples in it has to wait for me to move. Girl in limo number 1. Hey, slow people, move it. Girl in limo number 2. Yeah, move it. Boyfriend. Hey, drunk lady, shut up. Boy in limo number 1. Hey, pretty boy, get away. Boyfriend points at me. Why do you think she's limping? Everyone in limo drives by in silence. But weren't you guys still in the road? Did you not get to the other side of the road? Why did they drive by right then? This feels like something bad happened. Apply cold water to burned area. No, it's okay. That didn't. Oh, you know what I just noticed at the bottom of that? Yep.
Looks like we got an iFunny watermark. Send this post to hell.
Cops don't want you to know this. It was 2 in the morning and I was on my way home after a long day of work. I was exhausted and was ready to get home. The roads were empty, so I didn't think much about it. But just my luck, I saw the blue and red lights pop on behind me. I got pulled over for going 12 miles per hour over the speed limit on the interstate. I always try to drive close to the speed limit because I've been driving without insurance. I used to have it, but with how expensive everything is nowadays, I couldn't afford to renew it when the time came. He asked for my proof of insurance and I handed him an expired insurance card. He told me I was going to be on the hook for a speeding ticket and a ticket for driving uninsured. He asked why I let my insurance expire. I told him I barely had enough money to cover my expenses, let alone renew my insurance. What happened next made me break down in tears. He told me that insurance didn't have to be expensive and he wanted to show me something. He took my phone, filled out a few questions, and got me full coverage insurance for just $40 a month in 2 minutes. He said his whole department uses this site to insure all the cop cars, and he's not even sure if he's supposed to share it. He said even if you have insurance and you're paying over $75 a month, you're paying too much. So go ahead, sign up for my insurance, because I'm going to share it with you guys for free, because I'm just a nice guy like that.
Yes, I'm sure it really happened. My girlfriend was diagnosed with schizophrenia and I pretended I was a hallucination the whole time and moved out while she was at work. Am I an asshole? What a bizarre goddamn post. Reddit, am I the asshole for giving my girlfriend schizophrenic terrors by pretending I was a hallucination? We've spent 10 years together. My God. That's not how schizophrenia works. I mean, yeah, it's not, but what a bizarre concept, right? Like, let's just say that was how it works. What a strange thing to do out of the blue. And then to ask Reddit if you are the asshole. Oh, really? Big brother at work right here.
What in the actual My daughter-in-law had a DUI in Texas, New Mexico resident. The Texas probation officer offered to waive her community service if she got the COVID vax. What in the does one thing have to do with the other? How fucking unethical. The more I see, the sketchier it gets.
Yeah, the person that got a DUI as a victim is a wild premise for a made-up story, and yet here we are with that as the prompt that we're responding to. Hold on, I have to remind myself on acronyms. Men going their own way. Okay. Men going their own way men are so stunning and brave. It's a travesty that so many of them are single. Listen, what a silly name for a movement, first of all. True story. I just got back from a party. A female at my job apparently doesn't have friends, invited all of her coworkers, including me, to a house gathering. She kept pushing me to go to her party because she knew I was an introvert. We all went. There were 15 females and 4 guys at the party. The whole time I was playing my iPad game Risk. You know, the board game that became an iPad game that I'm playing on my iPad instead of socializing, being appreciative that I was invited to an outing. The other guys were just talking to other guys about the game. Not one of us tried to hook up with any chicks. All the females sat and just watched us guys doing our own thing. One of the females said,
"This party is lame."
I smiled to myself. I left early though. She really wanted a crazy party. Too bad. This was today. I'm mentioning this cause a lot of men are no longer waking up. They are awake. 2020 is truly the age of MGTOW trophy. Any similar experience? Hashtag red pill, hashtag passport bros, hashtag men lives matter, hashtag sigma male. You know it's not a true story because he started it with true story.
Oh my God. So I went to this party and got really drunk and met this guy, right? We had sex, etc., as you do. And I realized, oh, I had a BF. Okay. So the morning after, I told my BF what happened, and he laughed his ass off while I cried for 3 hours straight until he finally told me that the guy I slept with was him. Then we had sex again. This message was a roller coaster, and I want off this ride. I want off this ride right now. Vet euthanizes a perfectly healthy dog in the waiting room in front of everyone. I am literally broken. I popped into the vet's just now to pick up flea and wormers for my dogs. Large police presence outside. outside, 1 car, 1 van, and 6 police. They bring in a Bully XL, absolutely terrified, peeing everywhere. I went over to give him a cuddle. The vet stick a needle in him. I said that the police, you are not killing that dog. He said it's a hard part of the job. I begged him to let me have the dog through my tears, but to no avail. I heard the vet say, well, all they need to do is wear a muzzle. What a way to end a life. I literally can't stop crying. If you allow the authorities to take your dog, you probably will never see that dog again alive. Ah, man. Again, like I highly doubt in the lobby where everyone's sitting there, you got a little like chihuahua shivering in the AC, they like tackled that, brought this dog down to the ground and jabbed a needle in it. I doubt that that's what happened, but I'm sorry that, I'm so sorry that you made up this story. It must have been really hard for you in your mind. Oh, yes, happens all the time. Going to Walmart and seeing my 60-year-old male physics teacher in a maid costume and cat ears, and when I asked him, he said his Discord kittens wanted him to wear it. That was word salad. And I'm not hungry. I don't want any of it. I was playing Rainbow Six game when some kid randomly said, Latinos for Trump, and another random guy chimed in, blacks for Trump. Then they randomly cheered together for Trump. We're gonna win in November, ain't that right, Scott Presler? Me and my 2 likes. I highly doubt that's what happened in the Rainbow Six game. If it's Rainbow Six Siege, I can only imagine what unholy things are said through the voice chat in that game, followed by GG easy spam. When I was in middle school, my dad would give me $20 a week to pay for lunch, you mean? I was rarely ever hungry at lunch, so I just ended up saving the money. One day someone asked to borrow $1 to buy snacks and they'd pay me back with a quarter as interest the following week. I agree and it becomes a thing. Next thing I know, more people are quietly borrowing money from me and paying me back, and it kind of snowballs to the point where I even had teachers borrow money from me once in a while. During this period, I had lamented to my buddies that 1 or 2 folks who had borrowed from me often were avoiding me because they couldn't pay me back. Someone offered to collect the money for me if they could keep some of what they got. It sounded like a good deal, so I agreed. I eventually stopped doing it because I felt like people were only using me for my money. I tried to reinvent myself when I started high school. Years later, I realized that I had inadvertently been a loan shark. And that's how I got into the business. When I get out of church and now everyone's glaring at me because I'm overdressed while grocery shopping. But okay, yes, this is overdressed. Got it. Okay. That's honestly such a normal outfit I wouldn't even notice. I was gonna say I would wear a dress like that grocery shopping regularly, and I'm not religious or anything. Yeah, it's just a cute, longer dress. You're not overly dressed. It's fine. You're not doing it. You're not being extravagant. You're being normal. Sounds more like a shower thought than a real conversation. Working from home chronicles. Just had an unexpected visitor in a suit approach my porch. He knocks. I answer, hello, can I help you? Startled, he stammers, hi, I'm a real estate agent. Are your parents home? Me? I'm pushing 35. In a startup world, that's like dog years for 65. I've been adulting since dial-up internet, since Tamagotchi pets were our main responsibility, and since those 10-song MP3 players, portable mind you, were the absolute pinnacle of high tech. Whoa, I didn't ask for your life story. And I didn't ask for real estate, yet here we are. Anywho, that's 2024 off to a flattering start. Have a kick-ass year ahead, everyone. Yeah, I don't think we got this quirky at the random door-to-door salesman real estate agent that came to your home to secure property. I don't think we reached these levels of quirk. That can be dangerous. I watched a friend who's a 70-year-old retired Marine drill instructor beat the hell out of 4 Gen Z guys being assholes simultaneously. The 2 could still run, ran like the wind. The bartender and owner just laughed his ass off, then played dumb when the cops showed up. The 2 on the floor who too afraid and embarrassed to tell the cops anything. Their first good decision that night. Did everybody clap? Clapped, hooted, and cheered their approval. Everyone understood that those tiny brain meatheads were up to. Ah, yes. If you look closely, at first I thought that was just a different guy like being sarcastic. No, that's the same guy who wrote this long ass comment. Great, doubling down. So I held the door open for a girl and her son. They both had food and drinks in their hands. She walked past without saying thank you, so I said, you're welcome. She laughed at me and called me a simp. Then her son told her son not to be like me. What? 5 mind explosion emojis. Y'all generation of women need to go in the trash. Anyway, then I woke up. None of this happened. Okay, so we have a debate I need to answer. Say you on a first date and the check comes and they say together or separate check and you go, hold on. And you go, listen, you go let me hit that tonight? And she said no, or it's the first date. That's a debatable. So I said separate checks. Is that wrong? This was written in a very confusing way, but I got the gist. I like that this implies that this is being written at the table when they're saying we have a debate. Like they disagreed on who's gonna split the check. So he said, wait. Let me whip out Facebook. I gotta ask my friends what they think on this. The answer is no. No, you should not be paying to one check with the implication of hitting it. That's real shit. When I went to the bathroom after that, the waitress thought it was funny. And she said, well, if it doesn't work out, let me take you on a date next weekend. I don't know if she joking or what. She told me to hit her up. Well, if you're single, then looks like you should go on a date. Ask her if you're gonna pay separate checks or if you're hitting it tonight. I guess. Happened to me. GF showed the pics to all her buddies at the bar she worked with. We split up later and I banged a bunch of her friends and coworkers. Like that night in a row? Yep, can confirm. That happened to me a bunch of times. I slept my way through a couple of friend groups by telling them telling their girlfriends about my big dick. But always remember, size doesn't matter. I like this guy at the bottom. Did you have trouble with your size, like during sex? He's asking real questions. He wants to know. He's a young grasshopper trying to learn from the wise sage elders. I knew a skater that got hit by a car while skating. The car was going over 60. When he stood up, he said, "Where's my leg?" His right leg was against his back and his foot was on his right shoulder. The doctor said they need to amputate. He said, "You're not taking my leg." He recovered and can walk now with a slight limp and chronic pain in his hip, but he has both legs. How did he stand up in such a scenario? Oh, he stood up on his good leg. Oh, yeah, it makes sense. It checks out. This story is actually 100% real. They clarified. I'm willing to take this one as fact. This reads like bad fanfic, but everyone clapped at the end. My son came home crying after a trip with his friend's family. My son is 13. He went camping with a friend from school and his family. I was nervous when they invited him. My son has only had sleepovers with family. I've talked to the mom a little bit, but I don't know them. My son really wanted to go, and my husband said it'll be good for him. I didn't want to be overprotective and shelter him. He came home tonight and was upset and tired. He brushed me off when I asked what was wrong, but I could tell he was not okay. Later, he said he was hungry, so I made him a plate of food. When he was eating, he started to cry. My son never cries anymore. I asked what happened. He first said he's crying because he missed my cooking. Then he said he didn't have fun, was just waiting to come home. He told me his friend's mother and father constantly argue and yell. He said the mom was always complaining to the dad. He said they don't pay attention to their kids and that his friend's younger sibling is wild and they don't train their dog. He said the food they ate made him sick. He said the cabin was a mess. I comforted him and told him I was sorry. I told him not every family is like ours. My son suggested it was because they're white. What? But I told him that's not true. What do you... Sorry, that's really catching me off guard. What do you mean? What's this kid talking about? I burn a lot of candles and he told me he'd try to imagine the smell so he could fall asleep. That made my heart melt. He told me I'm the best. He said I always take care of him and his brother and that I'm nice to their dad. He says he thanks God I'm his mother and his father is his father. I wish he had fun, but it was sweet to hear him appreciate what he has. I don't even know where to start with this post. I don't even know where to begin. I can believe a kid not liking, his first sleepover outside of family, and camping can be a little intimidating as your first thing to go do when it's not with family. But all this other stuff, I'm just, okay. Recently, I was at a birthday party with my 8-year-old son. He removed the artificial green frosting on his cupcake and then enjoyed the rest of it with friends. That much I could believe, but it's where it's the caption that gets a little strange. I asked him because I wanted him to articulate back to me why he did what he did, even though I already knew. It's good for him to continue to feel confident about the foods he eats, even in the face of others questioning him. Here's what he said. I could tell that bright green frosting had artificial dye in it. It just didn't look natural, and anytime I eat those artificial colors, they make my stomach hurt for a long time, and I can't control my body. So I decided to just eat the cupcake. Your son had this articulate of an answer? Okay. I would have bought this if it was like, I don't like green. Kid doesn't like green. Easy, understood. But you went really complex here. Fighting a speeding ticket with a jury and hooks up with the cop's wife. What a story. So I'm fighting the ticket and we're in court and the cop is on the stand and I say, I saw your car half a mile up the road. Why would I speed if I saw you sitting there? And he says, I don't know. I tell him that the ticket claims I was doing 85, but my car does not do 85. It's just an old junker. that I'm lucky if I can get to 65 and not shake all over the place. He says,
You were doing 85.
and I say, how do you even know since you were on the phone the whole time? The jury all gasps. He says,
I wasn't on the phone.
and I say, that's not what your phone records show. And I pull out his phone records. How do you have those? And it shows he was on the phone with his girlfriend at the exact time I drove by. The jury gasps again. I see a lady in the audience crying. It's his wife. He just starts stuttering. The jury says, not guilty, and people in the audience clap. Hooray! Let's go! Yeah!
I've beaten the system again.
I saw the cop outside the courtroom arguing with his wife. They got divorced. In that same argument, she was the process of the divorce and everything right then and there. She was hot. I hooked up with her and we were at a club a month later and saw him there. Sorry, I'm. This is incredible. I could tell he was crying. I win again. Oh man, I want a whole book of this guy's escapades of how he's slamming cops' wives after beating them in court. Bought a 0.5 acre land and didn't know there was a garage on it. Bought a piece of property, found a garage on it, opened it up to find a 1965 Mustang. How do you? Wow, and in pristine condition. Oh wow. I don't think people realize how small a half acre is. Yeah, like I bought a house on 0.64 acres. It's all visible from the street. The only way this makes sense is if they bought it at auction and didn't go inside the garage. Asshole that I went to high school with definitely, quote, put that bitch in his place. Some dude hit his GF in my store and he tried to fight me too. So I broke his nose and put the bitch in his place. Don't hit your girls. It's disgusting. I agree with the sentiment, but I don't believe that this happened, sir. I believe you just want to be told you did a good thing over the internet. Intellectual student stumps teacher with these genius questions. Challenged by a student on evolution. Need a response ASAP. This is for the science teachers out there. If one is teaching evolution and is challenged by a student on the veracity of it, how should one respond? For example, specifically a student who poses this multifaceted question. Teacher, if the ape theory is true and macroevolution is true, why is there no proof of one species changing to another completely different species anywhere in human recorded history, especially the last 200 years, like a mouse to a chicken? Why are there no transitional fossils? Are you asking us to have blind faith in this unproven theory? Or this question, how did asexual cells become sexual cells? And with what did they reproduce with? I have no answer to these questions and neither does the ChatGPT. Please help! Well, see, so this post tickled me because the questions that were asked were very like creationist questions, you know? That being said, to answer at least the question I was more interested in, which was the fossils showing the transition, we have those, right? I'm pretty sure we see that there are already creatures that show that like process now of like a transitional evolution. This is just a dumb post. And nice try trying to be all smart to the teacher. My wife has the gift of premonition. Last night she dreamt that federal squads were in our home seizing guns, knives, unauthorized foods, and stored water. They said we'd been reported. Becca awoke crying. What happened to our freedom? She asked. What indeed? Oh, poor Becca. Then you woke up too, right? I had a dream the other night that the zombie apocalypse broke out. We were prepping and making a plan to get to our car to get out of the city. What happened to the zombies, I ask. What indeed? Oh, dude, that's profound. Absolute gold on LinkedIn. What's the most rewarding job in the world? Being a parent, for sure. Recently, I was having a coffee with my girls in a well-known shop. It was clear that we were extremely understaffed, and although we waited about half hour for the coffee, we patiently sat at our table. Out of sudden, my daughter got up and started cleaning the tables around. I asked her why she's doing it, and her reply made me realize how proud of a mom I am. Mom, there's only 2 people serving in the shop and they're very busy, so I'm helping. Mom, you've raised us very well, and just because we are lucky, not everyone else is. Can't lie, my heart was pounding with joy. The barista saw her after a few minutes, came to our table and handed us a free coffee card for our next visit. It was joyous, not so much for the free coffee, but the look of appreciation in his eyes. I wanted to share this with you all, especially at this time of year. Teach your children manners and to help others. The award is priceless. And oh God, I like the message. message. Be nice. But why do you gotta lay it on so thick and heavy and make it fake? I'll take shit that never happened for $64,000. Took my dog to work yesterday. Dog lover, patting my dog. Your dog loves me. Me. Wow, that's great. She doesn't usually go to men. Dog lover's face, crestfallen. And that's when I realized my dog had correctly identified a trans-identifying female. Hashtag turf dog, hashtag true story. Why post this though? Why would you post this? Why does this have 700 likes? Who's agreeing with this? 8-year-old homesick. I wonder what I'm gonna do today. Me, your job is to change the world. 8-year-old, I'm fucking 8 years old. What do you want me to do? What am I possibly gonna change at 8 years old? 8, that's your job. It's our job. I can't do it without you. Do we need to fix it? There are too many kids in classes. Great idea. Let's fix that. Well, what does that mean? That feels menacing. What do you mean by that? Sure, Ben. I'm sure he left his family there. As movie buffs, we arrived 30 minutes early to get good seats in midsection halfway down. Others arrived after the film started. Couldn't find seats together, so asked us to move. We declined. She yelled at us for being rude. What would you do? Some random person asked my wife and me to move at one of the Lord of the Rings premiere movies. We had gotten there early to get prime seats. These seats were centered to the screen and had a bar to put your feet up on. The family showed up last minute, and the wife asked us to move over 4 seats out of the center and away from the bar to put our feet on, so her family could sit together in the most prime seats in the theater. I said no. Her husband pushed up to the front of the crew and said, "We will have a talk in the parking lot about this after the movie if you don't move." I stood up and he saw that I was 6'2" and 277 pounds, so he ran out of the theater, leaving his wife and children behind. He left his family behind. What a coward. Anyway, the movie was good. True story. Literally one of these comments on every Jack Reacher clip I watch. True story. Many moons ago, when I was quite a different fellow, my dad had a friend who confessed to him that his daughter's boyfriend at her house was making her have sex with his friends, sometimes at the same time. He threatened her and her father, who was a very quiet-mannered man, that he would kill them if she ever reported him. The man was crying as he confessed this to my father, so my dad reached out to me. My sister got in contact with the girl and told her, "Do not stay the night on Saturday. Go to your parents. Tell them your mom is ill." She did as instructed. That Sunday morning, her boyfriend woke up to find me and 3 of my guys surrounding his bed. One of my guys' nickname was Genghis Khan for very good reason. What did he rap battle in Easter Bunny? That was 30 years ago. What the fuck is Jack Reacher? Why is this on Jack Reacher clips? This is a 2012 film. What is this about? It's a movie about a trained military. Okay, so these college left by guys being like, "Yeah, I'm badass. I'm a badass guy doing badass things, just like my hero Jack Reacher." What is more awkward than a bad handshake? Cop pulling me over. License and register. "Oh, it's you. Hey." My daughter in the passenger seat staring a hole through me. I gave the cop my license and registration, trying to charm him with a smile. He returns the smile, writing out a warning. Daughter, "Oh my God, you f***ed a cop!" Me through gnashed teeth. "I didn't know he was a cop." The cop then writes me out a real ticket instead. That would not have been the response my child would get. Jesus. Oh, it's a joke. No, this actually happened last year. For clarification, my daughter was 30 and I was 52. And it still didn't happen. This is too ridiculous for it to have actually happened. An extract from a Daily Mail editorial regarding Kate Middleton being in the hospital. January suddenly seems interminably long and much grayer than it was before. I was walking my dogs and saw a young woman stop, stare at her phone, mitten shooting to her mouth. I asked if she was okay. "It's Kate! She's in the hospital!" Everyone in earshot rummaged in pockets to find phones and to stop and stare, because we all knew what you meant when you said Kate. Doc totally said that. Yup. I feel like all the fun gets sucked out of me on these kinds of subreddits. I had a friend who didn't take my advice about only wifing virgins. Had a baby with his broad with 15 plus body count. The baby came out looking like a composition of the past 15 guys she's what? Doctor said it had something to do with the sperm residue. What? Yes, yeah, the dude with the fucking PhD said that. Yeah, alright. Not only did she sleep with 15 guys, but he knows exactly what all 15 guys look like and was able to identify the 6.25% of each of their traits, as well as his and the newborn's face. Pretty impressive. So I can't recognize my own car in the parking lot of the mall, but this guy has an inhuman ability to perceive things, I guess. I mean, I was gonna make a joke saying he took and to attain from the White Stag education videos, but that's got to do with foresight, and he would have foreseen how stupid this post was and not been a part of it. This is another level of toxic. Leave a tip next time and this might not happen. And don't bother trying to get me fired. I'm going back to Amazon. Wow, it's amazing how the paper is dry. You would feel this be heavy as well. Wait, is this person making up a fake scenario to brag about not tipping gig workers for internet grievance points? What a piece of shit. Firefighter's son graces local hospital with his presence. Daily proceedings grind to a halt as nurses fall to their knees and doctors leave the operating room to provide a standing ovation. My son's a firefighter. His nana was in the hospital after a fall. I popped in to visit her while he was there as well. 15 nurses in her room taking care of her. Nana's room was a thirst trap. Other patients needed help. It's true. I worked there. 6 people died while the nurses were lusting over the burly firemen. Crazy day in the hospital. It takes a special kind of entitled person to even imagine this scenario. Stairs in CPS. This mama is tired. One of my coworkers posted a photo of her tree. There was a ton of gifts under it. My 6-year-old was sitting with me and said, "Mama Bear, why isn't there that much under our tree?" I politely explained that we spent the majority of our Christmas money on Mommy's Ozempic this year like Santa said we should, and that sometimes other families posted pictures trying to make people feel bad. I sent my coworker a polite message on Facebook asking her to please remove the photo of her tree as it was triggering my daughter. She sent me a really nasty response saying that her Christmas was none of my business. Big mistake. My best friend happens to be our manager, and she'll be giving her an unlimited amount of vacation days after the new year starts and it's time to renew contracts. Company values don't align with her selfishness. Bye. So you got someone else fired because of a Christmas post? You think that's cool? Thanks. I hate receiving raw Dunkin' bacon from DoorDash. The oven down at 6:30, make it home. Okay. There's literally no way any place that sells food would ever do that. The liability and problems that it could cause, even potentially get the place shut down by food and safety. How could anyone believe that this is real? There's different types of food service permits. I figured Dunkin' does the one where you can't make raw product. Like everything comes in made and they warm it up. I could be wrong though. Maybe they're back there dipping liquid dough in the shapes. I bet you that's what's going on. All of her tweets are like this. I just asked my 2-year-old what his dad's name was and he said magnifying glass. I said, wait, do you think that's what MAD is short for? And he nodded yes. Great, here's another one. My 3-year-old just had the biggest meltdown and at one point he yelled, "I'm gonna sneak out of my room in the middle of the night and barricade the kitchen so nobody in the family can ever eat food again." And I just don't know. No parenting book could have prepared me for him. Oh, we got one more. My father-in-law opening a tub of hot fudge he got for Christmas. It's handmade. My 3-year-old horrified. Is it made out of hands? Clearly she's trying to workshop creative writing here. She's doing... We got one more. Told my 2-year-old we could do something, just me and him this afternoon, and asked what he wanted to do, and he said, "Can I have a meltdown?" Honestly, sure. This advanced warning is great for planning purposes and I appreciate it. How articulate of your 2-year-old to know what a meltdown is and ask to have one. The planning on this kid is impeccable.
You know that feeling of having to rewash dishes that didn't get clean? I don't.
Platinum Plus is Cascade's best clean ever. With double the Dawn and double the scrubbers, it removes the toughest grease and residue for an irresistible clean and shine. Cascade Platinum Plus. Dare to dish differently.
Hi guys, sorry, really quick before the video starts. As some of you know, I have a few shows coming up in New York City next month, but all 4 shows sold out already, so we added 2 more. So 2 shows on October 21st in New York City at City Winery. Tickets in the description, and I hope to see you there. Okay, enjoy the video. Bye-bye.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Sway House. Come on in. So guys, we're the Sway House. Not to confuse you with the Hype House. We're 2 completely different groups.
Okay, folks. So I've been making like a conscious effort to not make as many videos about TikTok, but dude, people keep doing very silly things over there, and I have no choice, okay? My hands are tied. They're getting married. Okay, little history lesson. Content houses were all the rage in 2019 and 2020. If you're unfamiliar with the concept of a content house, basically a bunch of TikTokers will either buy or rent a fucking mansion, and much to their neighbors' dismay, they would all live in that house together and collaborate with each other to grow their followings together. This idea was pioneered by people like O2L and Jake Paul with Team 10, and it sort of became an industry norm over the years. In recent years, though, I think everybody can agree that the most popular content house was the Hype House, and they're so big now that they're actually getting their own reality TV show, which is really cool, and I'm very excited for that. But around the same time as the Hype House was gaining popularity, there was another one that was like just right beneath it. And this TikTok house, it was a little more crazy than the Hype House, okay? It's a little more edgy, if you will. And this, of course, was the Sway House. The Sway House was kind of like if you had a frat house, but every frat boy was a famous TikToker. So somehow worse than a frat house. You got Josh Richards, you got Bryce Hall, this guy, fucking that guy. We gotta love that guy, and my personal favorite, this guy. And you know what? This house was just awesome, okay? It's so cool, dude. And it's the perfect example of capitalism breeding innovation. You know, I mean, look at all these guys. There's so much variety. Which one do I even choose? You know what I mean? I'm fucking kidding, obviously. These guys are weird. And they suck. I'm also like not sure where they got the name Sway. Like, I don't know why it's called the Sway House. My best guess is that it's a reference to all the dances that they do that require them to sway their dicks back and forth. But that's just a theory, okay? Don't quote me on that.
Please.
I actually Googled like what the Sway House means, like why is it called Sway? And the only result that popped up was a question that asks, what does the Sway House stand for? Growth, brotherhood, and content creation. But this question is so funny because I'm sure they mean like, what does the Sway House stand for? Like, what does Sway stand for? What does it mean? But when it's this question paired with that answer, this sounds like it's a fucking line out of Game of Thrones. What does the Sway House stand for? Growth, brotherhood, and content creation. Nice cook. I could make fun of these idiots all day, and I feel like I probably will going forward in this video, but I want to finally get into like the main topic of this video. The reason I bring up the Sway House is because I recently discovered that they just released their very own mobile game. That's not new, influencers have done this before, but their mobile game is a little different. Usually when you hear your favorite TikToker is making a mobile game, you have to close TikTok, which is just like, no thanks. You have to close TikTok, friggin' go to the App Store, search the frickin' name of the game, you download it, you close the App Store, you gotta wait for it to download, and then you can open it and finally play the game. And that's too many steps. I'm lazy. And you know what? The Sway Boys know that, okay? There's big brains behind those bangs. So their mobile game is actually playable right on TikTok.
Wow.
Kind of. It's a game you play on the web browser that opens within TikTok when you click a link in someone's bio. And this game was created by a company called Playco, which makes instantly playable games for social platforms. And their entire business model revolves around making games for apps that people can play on the apps without actually leaving the app. Could have explained that better, but I think you get it. And I honestly think we'll be seeing a lot more of these going forward because they just raised $100 million at a valuation of $1 billion. So that's fucking crazy. So what's the game, right? What sort of game would the Sway House be proud to slap their name on? Maybe a fun little game where you have to balance a snapback on a huge puffy head of hair? I don't know. Or maybe a game like the Drowsy mini game in Pokemon Stadium when you have to press A when the pendulum hits the line in the middle. But instead of the pendulum, it's one of the Sway Boys' wieners that they're always swaying back and forth. I don't know. It's not that. Thank fucking God. Their game is called Sway Stories, and it's straight up just a blatant ripoff of Episode. And I know a thing or two about Episode, okay? I've regrettably spent hundreds of dollars on that stupid ass wipe of a game. So I think I'll be the judge. Okay, I'll be the judge if Sway Stories is any good. And we're gonna do a playthrough of this game, but before we get into that, I feel like it's important to watch the promotional videos that they've been posting on the Sway Stories official TikTok account. Okay, so this one we got this character is doing a sweet dance. Okay, that's the sweet dance, got it. Okay, now this is the cool one. Okay, that's the cool dance. This is pretty fucking cool now that I'm seeing it on the viewfinder here. Wow. Pretty riveting gameplay so far. I also see there's another option up there called Flirty. So I'd assume that they're gonna do the flirty dance next, right? What the fuck? Where do those boys come from? Is this like a Bloody Mary type thing? If you do a cool dance 2 times in a row, the Sway Boys will pop up behind you and do a sweet dance. Come join us! And they've posted some other videos promoting the game. They've got the characters to do that, like Bella Porch Llama TikTok trend thing. But my personal favorite videos on this account are the ones where they got the actual Sway Boys to promote the game. And I also feel like this is a good time to mention that there are only 2 Sway Boys in this game. They can only snag 2 of them. There's Josh Richards and this other guy, Griffin Johnson. And that's weird, because a few minutes ago, there were like 6 dudes in that photo. Where's that guy? You know, everyone's favorite, that guy. Where are the rest of my Sway Boys? You're telling me there's only gonna be 2 in the game? There's no Sway. There's no Sway that can happen. How the fuck are you gonna do a Sway House game with only 2 of the guys in it? That's like if you went to see a Backstreet Boys concert and only Howie and Kevin came out. Fuck you, where's Nick? So I did a little digging, I looked it up, and I found out that the Sway House just straight up doesn't exist anymore. The Sway Boys split up like months ago. There just isn't a Sway House anymore, which is fucking so funny, dude. Because no shit that happened. Oh, yeah, I could have called that one, man. An entire house full of dudes who think they're the hottest guys in the world, who strictly make content about how they're the hottest guys in the world. Yeah, no shit, they fucking broke up. You know in cartoons when there's like a big like kerfuffle, a big fight, and there's like a big puff of smoke with like fists and legs popping out? That's what I think of when I think of like groups of guys like this. No, I have the biggest bang. No way, bro. I do. You know what, dude? There's only one way to settle this. Shotgun. All right, bro, if you say so. Come join us. It's just so funny to think that like months ago, when they agreed to make this mobile game, all of the Sway Boys were like still getting along and still living in the same house. And when they all broke up, I guess Josh and Griffin are like still contractually obligated to still partake and like provide their likeness for this mobile game. So they just have to pretend. They have to pretend that the Sway House still exists for a brand deal. And that's so absurd. Like, sorry to do another boy band comparison, but imagine like One Direction, after not posting anything for years, they're just like, hey guys, new board game. Check it out, new board game. Like, that'd be fucking insane. People would go crazy. I mean, okay, that's actually not a good comparison because I'd fucking buy that. I'd buy that in a second. But you get what I'm trying to say, right? And usually when influencers promote their weird-ass cash grabs, they're usually pretty disingenuous, but this one is like, these videos are on like a whole new level of insincerity. It is painfully evident in the promotional videos that feature Josh and Griffin that they do not give a fuck about this game.
So, who we inviting tonight?
Seeing this one girl. Kind of bad.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, already been in my DMs for sure.
That's impossible. She Snapchatted me right now.
Bro, I'm telling you.
We'll see who she really be seeing when she comes to this party.
Go to link in bio, find out. Alright, find out.
Okay.
And the Oscar goes to. Like, I get they're not stoked to be filming this video, but like...
So, who we inviting tonight?
Come on, guys. Wake up, chop chop, straight up. I was fully expecting for the next shot to be just both of them asleep. Just couldn't get through the fucking video.
Go to link in bio, find out. Alright, find out.
Okay.
And there's one more TikTok they did, and it's one of my favorite videos I've ever seen.
I don't think so.
I guess there's only really one way to settle this. First one who let's talk to first.
Looks like I'll be talking to her first.
No way, bro. That was a tie.
Okay, pretty fucking awesome transition with the water. I'll give them that. But these guys delivering a line is more painful than someone delivering a baby. And I would know I was born a baby. And I also don't know why Josh like whispered that one line in the TikTok. He had like 4 lines and he couldn't even hear one of them.
First one who let's talk to first.
Yeah, like, man.
First one who let's talk to first.
You can hear in the audio that they like, I feel like they tried to like enhance it, like make it louder, but
there's only really one way to settle this.
Even with the editing, it still sounds so quiet. Like he's whispering that line. Didn't even have the afterthought to be like, maybe we'll do that again so people can fucking hear what I'm saying. You can't even see his mouth in the actual video. So like just record it in post, right? Just re-say the... I don't know, dude. I don't know, man. I don't want to sway the public's opinion about these guys, but be better at your job.
I guess there's only really one way to settle this.
How do we find out?
First one who let's talk to first.
I win. What the fuck? I could barely hear what you were saying, dude.
No way, bro. That was a tie.
Febreze. I use Febreze Fabric Refresher every day to make my home smell amazing. On my bed, my couch, my jacket or jeans, in between washes, even shoes. Febreze doesn't cover up odors with scent, but fights them and freshens. Over 1,000 uses. Febreze Fabric Refresher.
Enough messing around, okay? Let's do a quick playthrough of this game, and I'll do a review on it, just give you guys an idea of what it is, and if it's any good. All right, Sway Stories. I do things my own way, so there's no sound. Good. Good. I mean, there probably was sound, but they were like, fuck it, it sounds too bad. They were delivering all their lines while jumping into a pool, so it sounds like shit. Being a content creator is my dream job, so I was stoked to get an invite to a Sway House party. Yeah! Dude, I get to go to a Sway party? One of their classic fucking pandemic parties? Let's go, dude. I can't wait. I can't wait to get COVID in the game. Uh-oh, your character just got COVID. Good luck. Tap here to unlock the ICU. Your heart races as you pull up to Sway House. It's even bigger than you imagined. Had to put that little flex in there about how big their house is. Used to be. Nervous energy courses through you as you walk into the backyard you spent hours idolizing on TikTok. Yeah, the party's pretty bumping. That guy is not moving. I'll fake it till I make it. How should I introduce myself? Psst, your first choice is coming up. Choices are your opportunity to control the story. Who you are, what you like, how you talk to people. Choose to be in the driver's seat or just sit back and enjoy. Love that for you, bestie. Okay. Love that for you, bestie. All video game tutorials have got to use that now. Press A to jump. You did it. Not you being so good at this game. I've got this. I'm Danny, classic extrovert, Juliet, mystery, flirting, sage, down-to-earth, baddie. Okay, why are these locked? And there it is. There it is. Support Sway LA. Unlock all episodes and choices. Early access to new episodes. Ad-free forever. Well, I gotta do the full review. I'll give him the $3. How much is it? Okay, free for 3 days. Let's fucking go, dude. Wait, hold on. And then $4 a week? $4 a week. And they're not even putting out the next episode until they reach 50K? That seems unfair. What if they don't get 50K? You have to keep giving them money? They'll have 50K in cash before they have 50K in followers, man. Fuck. All right, man, here we go.
I did it.
Okay, you regain your confidence as a friendly face walks towards you. I don't even know what I picked. Who did I pick? Partier. Or is it Partier? I don't know. Oh my god, it's my song. Wish I could hear it. Wish I could hear what song it was. There's no fucking music, man. Oh, all right. All my dance practice is about to pay off. Juliet is, or the other girls, the Partier is doing the sweet dance. Ah! Before you realize what's happening, you trip over your own feet. You close your eyes tight, ready to hit the ground. But instead, you feel two strong pairs of hands on your back. Why is this game just the Sway Boys subtly flexing about how strong their hands are, how big their house is? You open your eyes and see two huge penises. Wow, what just happened? You good? How could it be gnarly? Griffin? Josh? OMG. How did you catch me so fast? You were kind of already walking over when you fell. We trying to catch your name? I'm Juliet. Juliet! I like that name. It's crazy meeting you guys. I've seen like all your TikToks. For real. We should... Griffin! Josh! Where are you guys? We gotta run. We'll find you later. The next morning you wake up to sounds of grinding metal. Your roommate Ray is running the blender in your shared kitchen. I've been waiting hours for you to wake up.
Now spill!
What happened last night? What are you talking about? Ray shows you her phone as she frantically scrolls through TikTok. It's video after video of people asking who you are. And they're all captioned, #SwayHouse Love Triangle? I'm in a love triangle with Josh and Griffin? You'll never guess what really happened at the party. We'll be waiting for you in episode 2, XOXO. Episode 2, release at 50K TikTok followers. Share to help us to unlock it. Could just release it. You could just put it out because people are paying for this. $4 a week, $15, $16 a month. I mean, I gotta hit them with the follow, dude. Boom. All right, guys, we need all hands on deck. They're only at 13,000 followers. We need to get to 50 so I can get some of my money's worth at least. So that was episode 1. Graphics, 0. Gameplay, 0. Story, 10. On a more serious note about this, I understand, you know, wanting to make money. I get it. These Sway boys are young, and I'm sure they have managers that are like, we're gonna put the Sway House name and your name on every single thing we possibly can. It doesn't matter what it is, your name is going on it. Okay, you need to diversify and make as much money as you possibly can. Okay, we're gonna make me rich, and we're gonna make you rich. And that's why stuff like this happens so frequently. And obviously, I know some fucking TikTokers aren't gonna release some like AAA big budget fucking video game, because obviously that would cost them a bunch of money and it would be a big financial risk for them to take on. It'd be fucking sick though. Like, as much as I would love that, I don't think that's ever gonna happen. Like, we'll never get an Addison Rayman game or fucking Super D'Amelio Sisters or a Nikita the Dragon game. And that sucks, man. But back to the mobile game topic, there have been some pretty successful influencer mobile games that have released, like PewDiePie's Tuber Simulator or the H3H3 Ball Rider game. And those are successful because they partnered with like a reputable developer who like gave a fuck about what they were doing, and they created something new and like exciting. But on the other side of that, it is very weird for TikTokers to put out a video game about how sick they are. Like, the whole game just revolves around how much money they have and how famous they are and how hot they are and how strong their hands are. The fuck? Like, I wouldn't put out a fucking PS5 game titled, my mustache is fucking awesome and sick and I'm strong as absolute fuck. As much as I'd like to, I wouldn't do that. I have integrity. That's actually the name of the sequel. And as time goes on, I think one of the main critiques anyway of the gaming industry is how studios and developers are just in it to make as much money as possible. And since mobile games are way cheaper to make, the risk level is almost non-existent and the probability that you will make a profit is much higher. I think it's obvious to me, this is just what I think, don't fucking sue me, but it's obvious that this Playco company doesn't give a fuck about the art or the possibilities of the medium. They just want to fart out some shitty knockoff of an already shitty game and then attach that to the audience of a now defunct TikTok content house to gain a player base and fucking suck them dry of all of their $4 a week. Fuck, it's weird, man. I'm just fucking sick of people like not giving a fuck, you know? And these Sway boys have shown that they don't give a fuck, like, time and time again. They do bad acting and lazy voiceover work. They throw huge parties during the pandemic because they don't care about anybody else but themselves and their own wants and needs.